Patrick Wheeler. I served more than 21 years on board submarines, surviving the rigors of dangerous ventures inside enemy territories around the world without detection. I also volunteered to participate in an exercise having a nuclear bomb directly overhead dropped on our submarine, and I'll say it was one hell of a bang. An enemy nuclear proving ground. This was done to provide information for the nation's defense. Upon retirement, I was recruited into the CIA and served 23 more years, totaling 43 years overseas throughout the world, supporting missions that have yet to be revealed to the world. One of my homes overseas was totally destroyed by terrorists. Therefore, I fulfilled the rigors of my oath. I served with honor and distinction and thought that I was defending my country. Yet, when I did that, I also thought that the politicians of this country would defend me. Oh, how mistaken I was. These politicians have stolen my vote, as well as those other 253,480 individuals who voted on the same issue with me. I have honored my oath, and I ask that these politicians honor theirs. Upon retirement from the intelligence community, I came back to the United States of America to become involved in politics. I was picked right here in Pinellas County to go to Houston, Texas to help nominate President George H.W. Bush to office. For the PCREC, for those who don't know the initials, what they mean, it's the Pinellas County Republican Executive Committee. I served in the capacity of parliamentarian and ethics chairman for years. I since have removed myself from local politicians. On November 5th, 1996, I, along with 253,480 other citizens of Pinellas County, voted in favor, but 8 is enough. It was a referendum with a 72.2% victory. Not one precinct in the entire county voted against this referendum. The Florida Supreme Court sustained this referendum by a 7-0 vote. When this election took place, the Pinellas County Charter, which we're talking about today, read, if approved by a majority of those elected voters on the amendment at the general election, the amount shall become effective, not will, hopefully, it shall. That's imperative in law. There's a difference between shall, hope, and do. It was supposed to come into law on January 1st of the following year. Please, according to your chapter, not to be, we can speak a little bit longer. I can give you the authorization right from your agenda today, sir.
Ms. Wheeler, because of the nature of the, I would be happy to have you written.
Well, it's imperative that this information gets out, sir.
I would suggest that we have many, many people speaking on this issue.
Sir, I wouldn't care if there was 10,000. We'll all stand up and give our talk and our vote, sir.
I'll give up my 3 minutes.
I'll give up my 3 minutes.
I'll give up mine.
I'll give up mine.
Have your names, please.
Deborah Casso,
Okay.
Nancy Davis.
Thanks very much.
Barbara.
Given both to the United States Senator Rubio's office and the Federal Bureau of Investigation to determine if these 2 judges are on the tape. While entering Safety Harbor Spa in early 2014, former Commissioner Neil Brickfield notified me that we were going to lose our case for term limits due to the fact that Judge Morrison Silverman and Nellie Kazam were sewed up and in the pockets of the commissioners. Additionally, after I spoke at a meeting on May 29, 2014, someone tapped me on the shoulder and I was ushered to a room along with Dan Tucker, State Committee of the Republican Party, and the attorney Michael J. Kuju, chairman of the PCREC at that time. Dan Tucker stated that Mr. Brickfield had told him that Mr. Brickfield had stated that the 2nd District Court of Appeals, Judge Morrison and Nellie Kazam were in the hands of the commissioners. So the case will be lost. Mr. Koju's only response was Neil should have shut his mouth. I sat there and listened to that statement. Last but very important, unless you have not noticed, the voters do not hold the current incumbent politicians in high esteem, not only locally, but in the United States of America. In fact, they want them all gone because all they do is promise and never come through anything to benefit the voter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Appreciate your service.
I'm the director of U.S. Term Limits. We're a national organization that dedicated to the advocacy of term limits at all levels of government. We're actually based right here in Florida. And I want to just quickly weigh in on this issue. At U.S. Term Limits, we work on the issue of term limits every day, and we see up close the different schemes that politicians come up with to avoid facing the music. There's the broken promise, where they will sign a pledge to leave office, and they never do. I don't know that one. Sometimes they'll use deceptive ballot language, try to repeal their term limits, but never, in the exhaustive 20-year history of this organization, have we seen leaders who stand in defiance of a term limits law that already exists. So the way you do it here in Pinellas County, I think, is unique to what we've seen across the country. Now, don't get me wrong, there are politicians in the third world who disobey term limits. The president of Rwanda, for example, the president of the Congo, to name a few. But here in America, we can think of no other group that brazenly ignores the law and pretends it doesn't exist. Are corrupt dictators in the third world really the company that all of you here want to keep? I would suggest that you want to become a part of our nation of laws. Laws that are not circumvented or abandoned to line the pockets of politicians and make life more convenient for them. Anyone who says Pinellas County has no term limits is losing credibility by the second. We're all aware of what happened in 1996. People spoke, and their right to do so has been affirmed by the state Supreme Court.